continuously this camera.
No, no, you'll see over here.
Okay.
Whatever, you don't have to go live.
So, good morning, children. We will continue with the studies that we were. So, now we have the portion on challenge to bipolarity. Bipolar, why are they calling it bipolar? Because we have to first look at the term. This is the term which you are learning from the first time. Okay. That is, the world got divided into two parts. On the one hand, you had United States of America, and on the other hand, you had the USSR. Okay, so these two poles, one was the communist pole, one was the capitalist pole. One was opening up their economy, their society. The other was not opening up. It was a very closed society. So there was a huge difference. There was a huge difference between the two sessions, and they were divided into two poles. That is why the bipolar world. Now, there came about a challenge to this bipolar world the moment the World War ended. How did the world? How did it come? Where did it come from? It came mainly from Asia in the form of the non-aligned movement, and I'm very proud to say that we Indians and the Indian leaders they championed the cause of bipolarity. Oh, sorry, they championed the cause of challenge to bipolarity. Fine, that we should be all be proud about, and we have the non-aligned movement going on. Okay, what was the non-aligned movement? Now, the countries which were getting their independence after the Second World War, they said that we do not want to be again a party to any imperialistic design. For the past 200 years, 100 years, 50 years, whatever might be the case, we have been a part of imperialistic designs. Okay. Now we do not want to fall under the clutches of any other superpower. We don't want that. Okay. So that's why what happened was they started their own movement, the non-aligned movement. We are neither aligned to the USA nor aligned to the USSR. We do, and this came about irrespective of capitalism or communism. In my previous class, I have told you that Joseph Broz Tito, he was the leader of Yugoslavia, and he was a communist. Despite being a communist, he broke away from the communist camp and joined the non-aligned movement. Okay, so it was irrespective of ideology. It was irrespective of ideology that this went on. This thing came on, the non-aligned movement. All right. So now the main leaders were Nehru from India, Tito from Yugoslavia. Of course, nowadays you will be wondering what is talking about Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia, you do not have the country called Yugoslavia. It has broken up into many states, 5 states mainly. So Yugoslavia was there at that time, and there was also this thing Egypt under the leadership of Nasser, Jamal Abdel Nasser. Then you had Indonesia. You had General Sukarno. I forget whether he was a general or not, but Sukarno was there. Okay, and Nasser, Egypt, Indonesia, Ghana, Nkrumah, and Nasser and India. All of them they formed this committee. And who, who became the members of this movement? All those countries which were getting their independence from the imperialistic powers. All right. The especially the countries in Asia and Africa. Let's read a little bit and then again we will discuss. Okay. Challenge to bipolarity, we have already seen how the Cold War tended to divide the world into two rival alliances. It was in this context that non aligned men offered the newly decolonized countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America a third option not to join either alliance. The roots of NAM went back to the friendship between three leaders: Yugoslavia's Joseph Broz Tito, India's Jawaharlal Nehru, and Egypt's leader Jamal Abdel Nasser, who held a meeting in 1956. Indonesia's Sukarno and Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah strongly supported them. These five leaders came to be known as the five founders of NAM, the first non-aligned movement. The non-aligned summit was held in culmination of at least three factors: cooperation among these five countries, growing Cold War tensions and its widening arenas, and the dramatic entry of many newly decolonized African countries into the international arena. By 1960, there were 16 new African members in the UN. The first summit was attended by 25 member states. Over the years, the membership of NAM has expanded. The latest meeting, the 14th summit, was held in Havana in 2006. It included 116 member states and 15 observer countries. In your books, maybe it is different, but in my book, it is the 14th summit in 2006. All right. Now, as non alignment grew into a popular international movement, countries of various different political systems and interests joined it. That is, irrespective of whether you are capitalist country or a communist country or a socialist economy or a capitalist economy. Irrespective of that, you just join this movement. And what did you do? You said that, okay, we will be selecting any world issue as per its merit. We do not want to be a part of USA or we do not want to be a part of USSR. We do not want there to support them or to antagonize them. Okay. Now, why did they do so? What was the reason that they wanted to go for this sort of a arrangement? They went for this arrangement because of a basic, simple idea. All this while, they were catering to the imperialist economies. Fine. Now, they wanted that in the post-World War scenario, they should be able to reconstruct their economy. The Cold War tensions were growing. They did not want to become a part of that war machinery. What did they want to do? They wanted to be, what is imperialism? Okay, thank you for the question, Ataf. Imperialism is when, like, we were occupied by the British. Similarly, the various other countries of Asia and Africa, they were occupied by the trading nations like Spain, Portugal, then France, England, Germany, USA. They occupied these countries, and they took ultimately benefited their economies rather than our economies. They took away all the raw material from us, and then they developed those raw materials in their own countries where employment was generated, and they used us as a end product user state. Okay, that is what imperialism was all about. And now we have neocolonialism. We will learn about it when we are doing new international economic order. So now, no, I should thank you because for the question. Others are also most welcome to ask questions. Please ask questions if you have anything, and I have not explained something. Okay, so why did they do it? We were discussing why did they do it. They did not want to become a part of the Cold War tensions. and they wanted to concentrate on developing their economy. For instance, if you look at India, and this was applicable for all the countries. Look at India. What were we trying to do? We were trying to just develop our economy. We were trying to alleviate poverty, and we had so many problems. We will read in the first chapter of the next book, the other book, that how India struggled to put back its own system. So, you know what? We did not again want to share our resources with them. We did not want to share, we did not want to become a part of the war games that these two were playing. Like, if you, as I have told you, the James Bond, this one, every time there was tension, there was this one. If you see any of these James Bond movies, which has a Sean Connery in it, which has Roger Moore in it. It is all between fight between the capitalists and the communists. Always, we did not want to be said namaste. We don't want to be a part of that. Okay, so uh, as non-aligned movement grew into a popular international movement, countries of various different political systems and interests joined it. This made the movement less homogeneous and also made it more difficult to define in very neat and precise terms. What did it really stand for? Increasingly, NAM was easier to define in terms of what it was not. It was not about being a member of an alliance. Okay, now, what are they saying over here? They are saying that you cannot be the various types of countries came into the fold of non-alignment. Now, some were supporters of USA. Obviously, you have to be supporters of USA. How? Because of the geopolitical necessity. You understand the term geopolitical. If I supposing this is USA and I am a part of this country. Okay, I'm a part of Latin America. I cannot be a USSR supporter. It is a geographically I'm so near to the USA that I have to be a supporter of the USA. Okay, so that's why it's a geopolitical necessity. But at the same time, I do not want to be a part of the US bandwagon. We will read about the bandwagon theory later. Okay, so I do not want to be a part of the US bandwagon. So, fine, I do not be a part of the bandwagon, but I am a non-aligned state, but I have my sympathies. If you ask between the two, I have my sympathies towards the USA, little bit towards the USA, like that. Fine. So it became very difficult for the non-aligned movement to become a monolithic structure. Very difficult it became. Fine. Now, now we are coming to a portion where we make a distinction between non-alignment and isolationism. The other day, if you remember, we were talking about the Monroe Doctrine. For a very long time, the USA had isolated itself from the world affairs and they developed their own economy, they developed their own country. Okay, so now what happened was in this thing, the non aligned movement was not an isolationist movement. Anything happening in the world, they would be talking about it. Anything happening in the world, they would be discussing. But they will be keeping their options open. That it is my right to decide this time in favor of the USA. It is my right next time to de- take a decision in favor of the USSR. That is what happened. All right. Now, so we were never isolationist. We did not go into a quarantine. That's a good word now. Now we are all using the word quarantine because of corona and all these things. Okay. So let's read about isolationism and non-alignment. Okay. The policy of staying away from alliances should not be considered isolationism or neutrality. Non-alignment. Acha, neutral. Do you know any country which is a neutral country in the world? Zoravar, do you know any country which is a neutral country? Who knows? Any country which is a neutral country? Any idea? Anybody? Please say something. No? Nobody knows what is. Yes. Very nice. Thank you, Mannan. Thank you very much. Switzerland, Sweden, um, what Zoravar said it, or you said it. I can't understand. Yeah, there was a international treaty which was brought about, which ensured that Switzerland will be a neutral country. Now, why did we need Switzerland as a neutral country? For this, okay, Zoravar gave it. Thank you. Okay, understood. Yeah, but he's too lazy to. I think he's too lazy to write that. You have to write it on behalf of him. Thank you, Manan. Okay. Now, why did we ensure? Why did the world community ensure that there will be a neutral country? Supposing the whole world got into a war, then what would happen? It would result in a total chaos. Now, in that chaos, there should be somebody who would be acting as a referee, who would be acting as an umpire. So this one, it was given that okay, Switzerland will be there. That's why you will find in any war zone, if in any okay ship going by, what will happen? Nobody will be torpedoing it. Nobody will be bombarding it. If you torpedo it, if you bombard it with a ship carrying a Swiss flag, you will be hauled up by the Geneva Convention. You cannot do that. The Geneva Convention gives us the same. Sorry, gives us the what should I say, protocol for the war affairs, human rights violation, etc., all those things. Fine. So we are not like Switzerland. Switzerland, when whatever happens in the world, they will not talk about. Pakistan, India को attack कर दिया, Switzerland will not be talking about it. Nothing. They do not have any comment. But if you want a neutral referee, they will come most willingly and help you out. Okay. So we are not neutral country. We are not an isolationist country. We are very much, because of our being a member of the non-aligned movement, we are very much a part of the whole world community. Okay. Non-alignment is not isolationism, since isolationism means remaining aloof from world affairs. Isolationism sums up the foreign policy of the US from the American War of Independence in 1787 up to the beginning of the First World War. In peace and stability. Their strength was based on their unity and their resolve to remain non-aligned despite the attempt by the two superpowers to bring them into their alliances. They tried hard to break the membership, especially you had 2, 3 members